just as we start the stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome to So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons.
Yay!
Yay! So, I'm Christiana Ellis, the Dungeon Master, and we have 3 of our 4 players tonight, including Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric.
Hey, that's me.
Starla Hutchton as Nirakina Ethu.
Greetings and salutations.
And Chooch Schubert as Otterkey.
Hello, hello.
So, we are still missing Viv as Amethyst, but her character will be present. Would you like to run Amethyst, Chooch? Are you able to handle that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I can do it if it comes down to it, but easier on me if you do it.
No, yeah. I can.
So, let's refresh everybody's memory where things stood, because last time we had a little bit of an excursion from the standard timeline, which we'll cover first, because it'll be easier to refresh everybody's memory for other things in a moment. If that makes any sense, that tracks, sure. But time seemed to freeze for a moment last week, and then Alaric and Nira found themselves overhearing a conversation between what turned out to be one of the Fey ladies and one of her servants, who decided to test some of these champions that had been selected by the Little Thief. And they were given the opportunity that they were free to accept or deny to fight a demon in exchange for, if they win, they are granted an audience with this Fey lady, this very powerful creature or entity. It's a little unclear what her deal is exactly, but she's able to kind of pluck you out of where you were and have stuff happen and then return you to the instant in which you were taken. So, while you were just able to defeat the demon, you then were granted the opportunity to ask this woman, this queen, this empress. Her actual title was Her Exalted Majesty, Queen Hieratimus the Glorified, Empress of the Twilight Court, Risen of the Moon, Tender of Astral Gardens, Enchantress of the Heavens, Source of all joy, Creator of Baubles, and Mistress of Time. And you guys asked a couple of questions and got a few answers. And in particular, you were told that the only way to truly solve the problem of the fissures is to restore the moment of time that had been stolen. You were also... I'm trying to remember what your second question is. I'm suddenly blanking on it.
We asked if there was another way to prevent Malfa something or other from coming back.
Right. The demon in question in that moment that had been stolen. And the tricky element of that is that the summoning had been successful, and the successful summoning was the moment that was stolen. So if that moment is replaced, it will have already happened. And so there wouldn't be any way to prevent it from happening. But you could potentially rewrite history from that point with the moment restored. And then last but not least, Nira asked about her patron spirit, Rushama, and discovered that some of what the spirit of Lake Elamon had said is apparently true, that her people are preparing for war at the direction of their spirit, Rushama, who seems to be corrupted in some way. And yet, the piece of Rushama present within Nira is still pure. And then they were returned to, Nira and Alaric were returned. But where were they returned to? Well, all of you had just crossed over into the elemental plane of water, although you didn't specifically know that. You are doing that at the direction of an alternate personality of the spirit of Lake Elamon, so that you can close the portal that allowed mind flayers to enter that plane, and hopefully allow your fishy friends, the Kuo-toa, to return and retake their homeland. And if you do that, then hopefully you'll have a chance at being able to knock the bossier side of Lake Elamon down a peg. So, you found your way through the portal into a trap that dropped you down a little oubliette, but you fought your way out, and now you are in a tunnel trying to decide what to do next. It is the 4 of you and 3 allies, your halfling ranger companion Andri, and 2 of the Kuo-toa have accompanied you, Labely and Bala, though they are not able to speak your language. So now we bring all of you, and those of you listening at home, we are hearing the ambiance, tabletop audio. The track is Cavern of Lost Souls. And you are all now have just escaped this little entry room into a long, dark tunnel. The walls are carved, but not, smooth, just mostly to create enough space. The tunnel is about, 15 feet wide, and it leads off into darkness from where you can see.
Could you refresh my memory? Because there was a incorporeal voice that had spoken words.
Yes, that's correct. You did hear a strange buzzing voice that gave you the impression that your presence was known by someone, and that your incursion would be punished.
Yeah, that didn't sound encouraging. So,
how quickly can we get out of here?
Also, I should just point out that for Amethyst and Autarky and the others, as you were moving down this tunnel, all of a sudden Alaric and Nira seemed to just kind of stop walking for a moment, and then when you turned to look back, they had really strange expressions on their face. Like something really big had just happened, except you were just walking down the hallway.
is that going to happen often? I turned to Nira Kina because she's a cleric type. You deal with spirits. Is that supposed to happen?
I want to say no, but
So that's not a no.
I can't make any promises.
How long were we gone?
Let's just.
Then what happened? What do you mean? We've all been together here.
I don't think they know.
Do you know?
I know what?
Nope, you're right,
I don't think this is the time to talk about it. We have to take care of business here, and we have to go. So let's just go.
Let's just say that the world is weirder than we thought.
Well,
Everything's a mess, basically. Still, so we'll explain
that.
later.
Doesn't really fundamentally change our plans, actually.
okay.
Long story.
Well, there only seems to be one way to go.
Yeah. We should probably proceed carefully. If we're being watched, then that's bad, but maybe that was just a blanket warning.
And I'll remind you that the charm given to you by the friendly spirit would allow you to turn invisible for an hour. When starting
Once.
whenever you choose. Yeah, once. And it will break if you attack or really take any action other than kind of moving around.
Right. We can breathe the water, though, right? We fixed that part?
Yeah, you guys have all had water breathing cast on you, although presently you are in the air. And in fact, actually, as you guys have been in this tunnel for a little while, both Alaric and Amethyst realize that their skin is starting to feel uncomfortably dry.
It's kind of itchy. It's probably some leftover from being so close to that other thing that was about trying to swallow me.
Are you gonna be all right?
Moisturized?
I'm sure it'll wash off. Should probably get going though.
Yeah.
So,
The sooner the better.
One question, Christiana.
yes?
I was reduced in strength during that combat. Is that also resolved?
I'm trying
And
to.
reset.
Yeah, let me double check what the rule for that was.
Because you didn't say like hit points and everything else was reset to
Right.
where we are now.
Was that the?
You're talking about from last week?
That was a shadow, I think, that hit me.
That is gone. That was from the fight with the demon. So all of that is gone.
Okay. Cool. So we have a tunnel. One way to
Through the
go.
tunnel.
A long, dark tunnel.
Who's going first?
Do we still have that pass
I'll go
without
first.
trace thing?
Amethyst can cast it, but it's not currently cast.
Because we're trying to sneak, unless we think we've already been seen.
Yeah, and if that was, what, an automated warning?
Might have been.
Ominous.
Can we tell whether we heard it with our ears or if it was in our head?
You definitely felt the voice in your heads, and you recall that the spirit told you that the primary, like the leader creatures, seem to have some way to detect minds, but that their servants don't necessarily have that ability, but the leader creatures do.
So I don't think we're necessarily dealing with they can see us, they can just sense us.
Well, that's the question about that invisibility trick that Elamini gave us. Is that going to hide us from that too?
I
No.
don't think so.
That was you asked about that, and specifically the answer was no. It only makes you
Right.
visible to sight.
Okay, so. All right.
All right. So we're walking, right?
Did you go ahead? Did Amethyst
So
go ahead and
Amethyst
pass,
can, you know,
pass without
pass
trace?
without a trace, yeah.
Yeah. So technically, when you guys
Let us ease our way.
make stealth checks, you'll be adding 10 to your rolls, and then once you enable the invisibility, you'll be rolling at advantage also. So, as you're making your way down the tunnel, you don't go too far, just 40 or 50 feet down this tunnel, until the tunnel widens a little bit and there's a pool of water in the middle of it. And you can tell that it goes deep. And the tunnel continues past it, but there's this sort of circular pool of water in an area of the tunnel, obviously widened to allow it. And you can't see the
But,
bottom of the pool.
I'm going to go
A
forward to
big
that
ledge
pool.
around the pool.
I want to just
It's
see
not
if it's
blocking
water.
the path, right?
How are you checking?
Just going to dip the end of a finger.
Yep. Seems
Hard way.
Seems to be water.
Oh, good. I'm going to splash some on my arms.
Yeah, it
That
does
feels
feel
better.
it feels better. Yeah.
We could go this way.
The two Kuotoa with you, Bala and Labely, seem like they're sort of wading into the water and gesturing that.
Down?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All
Supposed to be
right.
I
full
thought
of water,
the
right?
portal was above. Was it not above?
Right.
Do we remember?
They're the guides, right?
I guess. Yep. Let's go.
I'm already in the
into
water.
the water.
All right.
Sploosh.
So as you guys descend into it, you realize that the tunnel goes down 10 or 15 feet and then opens up to one side. You realize that it's just sort of a primitive airlock. You know, that's this. You are now going back underwater. You were in pressurized air in the tunnel, but now you have essentially entered the ocean again. So as you are swimming down into it, you realize you're now opening up from this short tunnel essentially into the open water near the ground. And so as you see, the vista open before you, you realize that you're all on the outskirts, kind of what seems to be a large underwater settlement. That's key feature is a large tower that rises up out of the center of it, 5 or 6 times taller than any other structure in this city. And the Kuota with you, Bala, kind of just gestures to the tower.
How far do we think that is?
You get the feeling that it would take you probably 10 minutes or so to swim to it if you were to basically go just like beeline straight to the top of the tower. It would take about that long, but you'd be basically going through open water at that point.
Is the fissure visible at all, or is it encased within the structure?
You don't see it.
Do you sense it? Can you do that?
No, not really.
You're getting a little bit of a throb like it's in the area, but you also just came through one, so it's hard to distinguish the other one from the one that you just came through.
So we could just put on the amulets and swim for it.
We're close enough to it.
Yeah, I can't imagine if we get inside, we'll be more than an hour. How could it possibly take that long?
The other option is to use the things on the way out, hide or escape.
I have a feeling that's going to be noticed.
Well, I mean, we're going to be noticed one way or the other. If we use the things now and we're successful, then we all pop visible, right?
True.
Well, if all we have to do is move and not necessarily anything else.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that only one person would need to break their invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I'm going to hold on to mine. I can hide pretty well. Did
In
it for
open
4
water?
years. There's a lot of shadow in the water.
The Labley kind of sees you, kind of definitely your eyes looking towards the top of the tower, and she kind of just grabs your arm, Nira, just a little bit, kind of points lower in the level to the city, and then kind of mimes holding a spear and points to the city.
I wonder if
We gather there, people?
is she suggesting we fight our way through? Doesn't seem very smart.
Make an insight check.
Where's my insight? +6. Ooh, sweet. So that is a 22.
You recall that the Labley had someone that she really missed who had gone through on the last raid and didn't come back, and that she had given him a valuable spear. And so you get the sense she might be saying she hopes to find him in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right. Well, okay, I'm gonna take out the amulet and I'm gonna like show it to her and point at it.
So the charm, incidentally, was not like a physical necklace or anything.
Okay.
It's essentially just a magical thing that you can sort of just mentally invoke.
Okay. How would I mime that?
That's a good
Okay,
question. How
so-
would you mind?
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of point to all of us, and then I'm gonna be like I'm hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Hide.
She nods.
And then point to the city.
She nods and then turns invisible.
Well, okay, guess we're going.
Yeah, Bala turns invisible too, and then you see a moment kind of goes by, and then you feel a hand on your arm again, but like holding there, like like it just occurred to her that if she's invisible, you wouldn't. So-
Well, okay, so here's my question. Does my Verity ring penetrate this? Like, can I look through it and see them?
Yeah. It, as a matter of fact, it does.
Yes!
How far above the actual ground are we?
Right now, you have just emerged from a tunnel, sort of a cave that was in the ground, and you're sort of below the structure that had the tunnel you were in before. So the ground is not flat. You know, it has various topographical features and so on, but you are essentially at the bottom of the region that you're currently in.
So there's some places I could hide.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
You
gonna
wanna
go
go
into
invisible?
mine.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I'm going to hold on to mine. I'll meet you at the base of the tower. How's that?
Well, so Andri is kind of starting to say, so wait, what is our priority here? I mean, and if we're all turning invisible, I mean, should we split up? I mean, that seems like it would be potentially hard to find each other again if we're all invisible.
Yeah.
I figure we're heading
So-
for the tower.
So I can see you guys with this ring. All I have to do is look through it, and I can see.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't help anybody
else.
else.
I can-
So, okay.
Well-
So can we see kind of a direct route to where she was pointing to the base of this tower?
She is essentially pointing into the city. I mean, it's not a huge city by like surface standards, but there's, you know, it's kind of a maze in a sort of haphazard pattern, so it does look like it would be easy to get lost in there. I mean, at the same time, though, because it's underwater, you can really at any time just swim up and kind of be able to look down on it.
Okay, so how about this? I can pull up the rear with the ring so I can kind of keep an eye on everybody. And when people stray, I can, like, tap them on the shoulder to, you know, tug them one way or the other, maybe?
From behind?
Well, I mean, obviously I'll have to go up and, you know, move people, you know, as much as
Can
possible.
you still speak?
That'll be
I'll,
Sacred
I'll
Flame.
basically be a cowboy. It's like
That'll be
herding
Sacred
cats.
Flame.
And do remember, too, you are invisible, not silent.
Right.
Yeah, so you can speak, guide people. We can talk underwater with this
You can also
thing, right?
be heard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go invisible.
Yeah, I'm gonna start it.
Okay.
I'm holding on to mine, just in case.
All right.
Alaric, we're gonna follow you.
Oh, crap,
well,
really?
There you go. That's
Alright.
not a bad idea. Yeah, so Andrea will go ahead and pop hers, too. So,
I'm just going to prep with hiding and see if they can still see me, which might also be a problem.
all right. Well, I think that, you know, you can sort of selectively choose that you're hiding from anyone who might be coming from the city, and
Right, right.
they're able to see where you're going. So, so if you're going to move stealthily towards the city, then everyone gets to roll with advantage except Alaric. But
We
you
still
still
have-
have the pass without trace, so add 10 to whatever you get there.
So I think I'm starting with a base of 20.
Natural 20.
All right, so we're at a plus
24.
plus 10, right?
Yep.
23.
And Amethyst gets 29.
Okay. So everyone's doing pretty good. So, Alaric, what are you doing exactly? Are you keeping everybody low to the ground?
I'm staying low to the ground to find as much cover as I can.
Okay.
I will float up or swim up if I need to find better cover, but I'm going to approach the city. If there's a way that there's a hill or a ridge or a building near the edge of the city where I could go up the top and take a look down over, that might help.
So the idea of, getting a higher elevation, but not just being in open water.
Right. The higher elevation is only once I'm close enough that I could actually make use of seeing the city.
Right. It's going to take you a little bit to get there first, especially if you're
Yeah.
moving stealthily. But you guys are making your way across the ocean floor and moving towards this city. You realize that a lot of these structures, especially underwater, they don't necessarily have the same weight limitations as surface structures might, and so some of them are surprisingly spindly looking for how tall they are. But even still, none of them are more than maybe 3 or 4 stories tall, essentially. But there's also they're not organized in any sort of an obvious regular pattern, no right angles and straight lines here. But so as you start getting close to the city, you realize that there are, in fact, quite a lot of Kuo-toa around, but they seem to be kind of going about their business, but a lot of them pretty much all of them have a little bit of a dazed expression, and some of them actually have sort of weird growths on their body. You do also here and there see more slods, kind of obviously, being kind of prison guard sort of duties. They're just kind of watching to make sure nobody's getting up to something they shouldn't.
And keep a pretty wide berth.
You have gotten to the edge of the city, and you feel like you could probably pretty easily, sort of using one of these building structures as cover, get up sort of to the top of that, and stay pretty confident that you're still hidden from up there.
All right, I'll make my way up there, looking for a good vantage point. Find out what we're dealing with.
Going to make a sweep, make sure we've still got everybody.
Yeah, with Nira just checking for everybody, and everybody following Alaric, who is still visible. You guys have been able to stay together.
It's really a lot easier to climb a building when you can float.
Yeah. Technically, you don't even have to hold on. You just let go. Although certainly, Archie, in your heavy armor, you can swim upward, but you can't just float. It does require a continuous effort to try to do anything but walk along the bottom. But still, it's not it's not impossible. It's just more effort than it would be otherwise. So you guys make your way up there, and from the top of this building, kind of peeking around, you can look and just see that it's very irregular, and there's lots of Kuo-toa. There's hundreds of them doing various things. You do see in the center, if you were to swim straight to the base of it from here, in about 3 or 4 minutes, you could get to the base of this very tall tower. And you can definitely see that at the top of it, there is some sort of an enclosed structure at the very top.
Is there any kind of...
the dimensions of the tower, incidentally, it's probably like about 350 feet tall, and it's about maybe 50 feet by 50 feet across, footprint.
Is there any kind of purple glow coming from that, or anything else?
If you don't see any glow,
Okay.
It's possible that it's just within the structure.
Yep. What about the pattern of the way people are moving around? Are they following routines? Are there people that are armed, or people that are beside the slot? Although I don't think that had any arms. Well, it had 2 arms, but didn't have any weapons.
Yeah. The slods are not armed. Everyone's just they have their own natural weapons. They don't feel the need to carry weapons otherwise. Many of the Kuo-toa have weapons on them, because their bondage is not physical. If you want to try to detect a pattern of some kind, I'd like to have you make an investigation check to kind of try to see if you can interpret their movements.
I don't know if the rest of them are also here, but they may also look. I don't know. I got a 16.
16. You do get the sense that everyone seems to be. So not every single one of them. There's some haphazard activity that's hard to place, but it's also very clear that there are a lot of them going towards one particular direction and coming back from that same direction. That's
Is that the
it's
tower?
kind of it's slightly off to the side of the tower. So it's they're not coming into it going from the tower itself, but from some other location.
And are any of these ones that are carrying weapons carrying a really nice looking spear?
Let's see. If everyone wants to look for that, I'll let everyone
Sure.
make a perception check. And Labely and Bala are doing the same.
I rolled a natural 20.
16 for me.
Perception.
So,
Monica has 17.
So what
that's
is
a 26 total, but it was a
Yeah.
natural 20. So.
You do see, Nira, that there is a Kuo-toa that is dressed differently than the others, and strapped to its back has a very fancy-looking spear.
Okay, I'm going to quietly whisper that the location of this person. I'm gonna find Bala and I'll tap her on the shoulder. But I can't talk to her, so I don't.
I pull out my dagger, and I point the dagger at the one with the spear, and I kind of look back, hoping that thing is behind me. Can I see, or that can push my hand up or down if that's right? I kind of gesture towards it.
You hear them start kind of speaking to each other. They seem very excited, but they also seem a little bit uncertain.
Okay.
Does that one with the spear look like the others, or does it look normal? Does it look?
He's dressed
Dazed.
a little differently.
Yeah, like it just a lot of the others seem to have just, if they're wearing really clothing at all, it's all very basic, whereas that one seems to have a nicer sort of robe.
Does it look like it's got any of that deformity?
You don't see any growths on it, but it's moving in this sort of same slightly dazed way as the others.
Where is it going?
He is heading in the direction of whatever that location is that a lot of them are, but he's heading towards it, and that is currently away from you.
The middle of the crowd, though.
Yeah.
Is there an alley we can? Thank
There,
you now?
yeah. I mean, there are in fact actually lots of different sort of alleys and passageways. There's not really roads with like cart traffic the way you would normally think about it, just because anything that sort of needed more space to travel would probably just go above the buildings. But several of them are kind of weaving in and out between several of these buildings through sort of narrow alleyways. It's crowded enough that you don't think you could get him by himself, but you could certainly get him in a smaller group.
Did I
You-
do still have a robe from one of the Elamon's people. I am kind of short.
You feel the some fishy hands on your arm kind of pulling you kind of in that direction. Not roughly, but just as in a like they have,
Encouraging.
That's what they think you guys ought to do.
Yeah, I know. I see him. I pull that robe out. This is gonna be bad. I'm gonna wrap the robe around me as best as I can. I guess I have to
Alright.
tuck in my beard too. That's gonna be awkward.
I love this.
I'll stow the crossbow underneath the bag. I don't really need to have it out after all. The dagger tucked in where I can get it if I need to. And I'm gonna try to blend into the crowd.
All right. So we're going to have everybody else make another stealth check. You're still at advantage and still have your pass without trace. But Alaric, what I want you to make is a performance check. Or deception. You can do either. I'll allow either one.
I have
They
a
happen
20.
to be the same.
Not natural. 20.
Oops. Is there anything I can do to... Okay. I cast Mage Armor before, back in the time that was stopped. Is that effect still going? Or was that reset as well?
How long does that last?
Normally 8 hours.
Oh, well, 8 hours. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I didn't know if it reset like everything else did, so... Because my spell
Oh, well,
slots
okay,
reset.
so... I take it back. If you cast it in the demon fight, no.
Yeah. Okay.
That was sort of a little pocket of the timeline that does not influence either way.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Is there anything I can do to make this better? I don't think there is. Oh, well. There goes a whole lot of probably not good. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh,
My son bought me these metal
I was gonna-
dwarven dice.
Nice.
I guess that
Christmas?
doesn't.
And my little dice tower just shakes when I try to roll. It's nothing like
If someone were to inspire me, maybe that could make a difference, but I don't think it will in this case.
Oh, well, you know what? In fact, actually, as you're sort of putting the robe on and maybe looking a little bit anxious about it, you feel this fishy hand on your arm again, and you're and then you actually do feel a little bit inspired with a D8.
D8. This might make this from... Well, it depends on how you rule on certain things, but the total is 5 because I rolled a 1.
All right, so you got your robe on.
I'm just gonna do it confidently.
Everybody is
Obviously
kind
it
of,
worked.
you know, you're making your way down there, and
Try to look a
everyone
little
else is
dazed.
kind of following around, and you you're kind of down in and among, you know, all the other Kuo-toa, and they don't really give you much of a look, but you realize fairly quickly that, like, they don't seem to be obviously reacting to you, but you suddenly realize that you're getting kind of quite a wide berth. Like, whereas they're pretty tightly packed otherwise, you realize that, like, none of them are coming within about 15 feet of you.
All right.
They're just kind of walking around to give you lots of space. So nothing has been hassling you, but it seems obvious that you're not blending into the crowd the way you might have hoped.
It was worth a try. I will hide. I'll try to find a way to kind of keep moving along, but more shadow to shadow.
Okay. Go ahead and make another stealth check then.
That one's a little bit better, likely. 20, 24.
Alright. So, you know, given that you're only just hiding out amongst my controlled Kuo-toa, that could have been worse.
Yeah.
Like, depending on who you were going
It's a different kind of blending into the crowd.
Yeah,
Kind of hunching down behind Kuo-toa.
Yeah, so what was that?
Stealth was 24.
24. Okay. So you're pretty confident that you're sort of hidden again. You're fairly sure that, I mean, you're not going to be completely hidden from all of the Kuo-toa because they're kind of everywhere, but they also don't seem to be paying much mind. So I would imagine what you're primarily trying to do is hide from any of the slot you might see.
Yeah, because the Kuo-toa theoretically were here to rescue.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the rest of the folks are following hidden somewhere. I'm hoping. I can't tell because I can't see.
Well, so I would imagine, Nira, that you are still doing your best to try to keep everyone together, but given that you might, I'm speculating, you might be trying to do it quietly now.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to have you make a, let's see. I'm going to have you make a charisma roll, just straight charisma roll.
Herding
Okay.
cats roll.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a saving throw?
No, not a saving throw, just straight
Oh,
charisma
straight.
modifier.
Okay. So 17.
17. You're doing okay. Every so often you get someone who ends up kind of just going down the wrong corner, but you're mostly able to kind of keep everybody together. So you're kind of pushing through. You're making your way. Given that these fish folk are not walking too fast in their sort of dazed pace, and you are able to periodically, kind of float up and look. You know what? Now that you're sort of down in the maze a little bit, I'm going to make you guys. Someone has to make a survival check to see if you can keep up with this guy you're trying to follow. Don't forget, Chooch, that you can roll for Amethyst because I think she's got good survival.
Yeah, I got her.
Is it easier to follow them from down on the foot on the ground?
Well, it's definitely harder to follow them down in the buildings, but you're also much more obvious and visible if you're up in the open water.
Are we all making that check? Is that what you said? The survival check? Just her.
I'm going to say all of you are choosing one person to be the tracker.
Okay.
What does Andri have for
6,
that?
And
What does Andri have for that?
Let's see. Andri's survival is +5, which is actually not as high as Amethyst.
Okay.
yeah, and I rolled 18 total.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you guys, after about, you're currently about 15 minutes into your invisibility, but you do catch up to this one particular Kuatoa, and he's in a pack of like 5 other sort of ordinary-looking Kuatoa, but then 2 of them sort of nearby seem like they're a little bit tougher, better armed. But they're kind of all about to enter sort of a narrow alley when you kind of have gotten up close. They're ignoring you, but you're kind of just following behind as they're moving in one direction.
Okay, I would like to look and see what Bala and Lavely are doing.
They seem really eager and impatient, like they want to just run up and grab him, but they're not sure if they should because it would probably break their invisibility. So they are highly anxious because this is clearly who they were looking for, but they don't know what to do.
Since nobody's told me otherwise, I'm assuming I'm tracking the right guy. Let's see if I can get closer.
Okay. Make another stealth check to try to get closer.
Only a 14.
Okay. Is that even with the pass without trace?
No. So I'm too far away, I'm assuming.
Oh, well, I'm assuming everybody's still trying to stay together.
Yeah.
If that's the case, 24 then.
Okay.
And the other one was 30-something, 34.
Okay. Yeah, so, you're not, you don't think you've been detected by anyone, and you're getting pretty close, but I mean,
I'm blending in perfectly. What are you talking about?
He's ignoring you and just keeps on walking, so, I mean, without some sort of other activity, he's just going to keep walking and you keep following.
If I can keep up to him, I'm going to look for an opportunity to walk beside him and then gently guide him into an alley.
Try slapping him. That worked.
I'm not going to assault anybody just yet.
All right. So you are going to go ahead and do that. You know what? I'm going to have you. You're doing it physically, just kind of sort of
grapple
shoulder.
and then pull.
Oh, are you going to actually grab him, or just kind of gently?
If he kind of just takes the suggestion of me just sort of directing him where to go, if he seems susceptible to that, then that's great. If not, I'm gonna move.
So as you kind of start sort of pushing to one side, he seems to sort of not like struggle exactly as much as kind of try to push past you to keep going the way he was going. But then eventually, as you push him further, he seems resigned to like. And go around that way, that works too, but he's not especially looking at you as much as still trying to go where he's going. But you are able to sort of guide him down another narrow alley, but you realize that the rest of this little clump that he was in starts following the same direction.
That's okay. That's okay. Is he going down the alley with me then?
And the rest of you, I'm going to say, you're at this point in the narrow alley going to have a real hard time staying within the Pass Without Trace radius without bumping into people, because you've now made a narrow alley very crowded with all of you.
Probably.
Can I float upwards?
Yeah. But again, what becomes tricky is that you lose Pass Without Trace if you're not within 30 feet. Everybody needs to be within 30 feet of Amethyst. But you can float upwards, but it's also like they're not all necessarily just walking along the ground either. They're kind of swimming near the ground. But so you can do it. I'm just saying that it's increasingly difficult, and you're more at risk of being detected, is what I'm saying.
Are we out of sight from the main road a little bit?
Yes.
Say now that it's around the corner.
Can you just like?
You're in kind of a little blind alley.
I'm gonna grab him by both arms and look him straight in the eye. I know you can't understand the word I'm saying, but I'm hoping you might recognize the name Labley.
He is kind of
Try to
just...
say it nicely.
He kind of just blinks his big sort of fishy eyes at you. Blink, blink. And he's not really saying anything, but he's kind of starting to struggle a little bit more as you hold him. And the others...
louder. If Labley could say a few words to him, maybe he'd listen.
And then as soon as you say it that time, all of a sudden... and you can hear that she is speaking out. And so you feel that they, Bala and Labley have kind of come in around your sides, and they're sort of holding him now too, and speaking to him. You do realize, the rest of you, though, that as you've stopped his forward progress, the clump that was kind of following him is now sort of bunched up around, and they can't really get by. So they do seem to be having some sort of a dawning awareness that something is happening.
Just go. It doesn't concern you.
He still seems to be like he's increasingly trying to get away from these hands that are grabbing him. And then all of a sudden, Labley appears, visible again, but having just slapped him across the face, and then he just kind of goes,
That was my next
"Ah!"
Plant my hand.
Should have had Chooch do it.
So he is looking stunned, but he also has just made a loud noise, and several of the other Kuatoa around have also just noticed Labley appear, and they're drawing their weapons.
Is he still struggling?
He looks stunned, but he's kind of just like floating, like he's in shock.
Lazy-eyed, or?
No, he seems to have regained some sort of awareness, and he's definitely meeting Labley's gaze.
All right. The other ones that are there all seem to have that slack-eyed too, right?
Yeah, and in fact, even as they're sort of drawing their weapons, it seems like it's a sort of slow motion. They don't seem really agitated so much as this is some sort of a programmed behavior.
All right, I'm gonna walk over to them with my hands out. Shh. Well, shh. It's okay. And try to be as calming as I can in a language that I don't understand.
Try just walking. Just keep moving.
Make a
happened.
persuasion check at disadvantage.
Persuasion. At least I got a fighting chance. And then I'll be fighting something else instead. Crap. I got a 19. Only 15 minutes, 16.
Yeah. As you kind of move towards them a little bit, they seem like confused for a moment, and they sort of hesitate. Like they're not sure. They look a little bit confused. Like, weren't we like we were getting our weapons out, right? So it's clear that there's some sort of a mental difficulty that they're all having.
Yeah.
Alaric, just turn around and go like you were just walking. Just walk.
Lately, and I'll go ahead and just let you know this is indeed an NTBO, the flipper, and now he the two of them, having watched you do that, kind of just sort of tap you on the shoulder, and they say, and then they start kind of walking like they're walking in the direction that everyone else was going before, like they're pretending to be dazed again.
I'm going to keep these folks' attention while they slip away. Once I see they're kind of in the crowd, then
Okay.
I'm going to go.
All right, so as I'm gonna have you make another persuasion check then.
Okay. It's like, hey, up here, buddy.
All right.
Got disadvantage again?
Yeah.
Crap.
You don't speak the language.
Holy crap. That's a 17 total.
Oh.
It's not bad.
Yeah, they're seeming like they're getting a little like increasingly agitated, but
Hey,
also that they
relax.
don't know what is supposed to happen. You know, that like the body language that you get, the impression is, if you imagine at a coffee shop, someone is making a scene and everybody else in the place feels like somebody ought to do something, but nobody wants to be the one to do it, right? That's the sort of vibe you're getting from all of them, is they feel like, no, this is not right. Something is supposed to happen here, but none of them are kind of the initiator.
Confusing people is something I like to do. Have Labely and
They have,
Hilo-
but as they kind of went around the corner, you see them at a moment sort of peek back, like you're not doing what they thought you were
No,
going to do.
it's just keep going. I shrug to the guys in front of me. I pull the hood up and I start walking.
Okay. After they watch you for a while, and you start walking, and they kind of start walking, but I'm going to have everybody make a perception check.
Me too.
Yep.
I'm busy with my hood. 7.
Okay.
man.
15.
She got a 2. And Amethyst got a 5.
Andrew got a natural 20, so that's actually a total of 26.
We realize this
so-
is really Andrew's story. We're just here
We're just living
to make sure that we saw all
So,
the gaps.
so as you're going, you suddenly feel like a hand at your waist sort of grab the robes and shake you, and then sort of a harsh whisper is like, "There's another one of those tentacle things floating over."
Crap.
And if you kind of look
Ooh.
around, you see that another mind witness does seem to be drifting in this direction.
Move fast now.
Pop the invisibility, man.
2 others aren't invisible. I'm not leaving them.
Yeah, but they can blend in.
Possibly.
So
Well, we get
what
moving.
are you doing?
I'm gonna move fast. I'm gonna start
Okay.
to run. In fact.
All right. So I'm gonna have Nira make another charisma check to see how well she can keep everybody together at a fast pace now.
Well, that didn't go so well.
No.
No.
Okay.
That's a 5.
All right. You recognize almost immediately, Nira, that as soon as Alaric is trying to hurry and move through the crowd, that everyone, in their difficulty of trying to move around the other Koatoa and kind of move around, people are starting to lose sight of each other, and you've got about 3 different groups going in different directions.
Oh, crap. Okay, who's where?
Scatter.
So
which groups? 'Cause
Alaric
obviously I'm gonna have to pick somebody.
is
right?
about to catch up to Labely and Antiblio, in his hurry, and I'll say that Andri was right there with him, so she's, they're together, and then I think Bala and Otterkey have gone off in another direction, and then you have Amethyst with you.
Okay, I'm going to grab Amethyst by the wrist and go after Alaric.
All right. Make
Sorry,
a
Archie.
make another. So I'm gonna have you and Amethyst make another stealth check. Still at advantage because you're invisible, and still with the pass without trace.
22.
28.
All right. So you guys are pretty sure that you're together and you're fine, and you being able to see everyone, kind of know where you're going, Nira. But Otterkey and Bala are going to make your stealth checks no longer with the pass without trace because you've left the radius. So you're still rolling with advantage, but not with pass without trace.
17 for Archie.
That's a 2 for Bala. So I think, unfortunately, as you guys are kind of hurrying, and especially once you kind of realize, oh wait, what did we got turned around? Something. Bala ends up backing into somebody and sending a Kuatoa sprawling, who bumps into a couple of others, drifting them up off the ground, and so it's now obvious like something has disturbed the crowd at that point. So, Alaric, you and Andri have just caught up with Labely and Tiblio in your hurry. What are you doing?
I have no idea where anybody else is.
Yeah.
Are they moving ahead?
You feel Andri's hand on your robe still, to keep with you. Yeah,
do
so
I see a
you've just
disturbance
hurried up to
behind
catch up with them. I'm
Do I see
sorry.
disturbance behind me as people are drawing attention?
You do, yeah. Are you turning around to kind of
I'm just
try
going
to
to look over my shoulder and make sure we're not being followed, and I might see that craziness behind me.
Yeah, make a perception check.
23.
23. Yeah, you do see that off to one side down like another alley, you see a couple of Kuatoa that are kind of drifting a little confused, like, wait, what's happening? That definitely just not the way they were a moment ago. And you also realize that the mind witness is moving in that direction. So not like fairly, like it's still kind of more near to you, but it seems to be moving more directly in the direction of whatever just happened behind you.
All right. Andri, keep these two safe. I'm going to see if I can draw that thing away.
She's like, okay.
Hey, it's just like the
Hold my
cage.
beer.
I can run pretty fast when I need to.
So
And
what are you doing?
Summon a crossbow to my hand.
Okay.
And I start walking back calmly.
All
but
right.
I'm not hiding.
So you do get the feeling that since you are now sort of moving against the primary direction of the crowd, that you're not going to be especially well hidden.
Yep.
And in fact, after about 10 or 15 feet, you have apparently attracted the attention of the mind witness and is now moving in your direction. It's still about 40 feet away.
Okay. I fire my crossbow at it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
Let's see. Is it difficult to fire underwater? I forget.
It is. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and rule that ranged attacks have disadvantage.
Yep, that's what I expected. The nat 20 isn't any good, but I still got a 25.
Really? Okay. Well, yeah, you managed to hit it right in its big old dumb blind main eye.
8
roll damage. 8 damage. Okay. So we're gonna roll initiative now.
Sure.
Let's. You know what? We'll just go ahead and have.
Not necessarily.
I guess. Tell me what everybody's plan is here.
Well, have Amethyst and I caught up to Labley and Andri and...
Yeah, so if you were going after Alaric, I would say you probably caught up with him just in time to see him firing a crossbow into the upwards.
Now,
Ah,
I may want to remind players of the character history of Alaric. He's done this before. Very well to getting the hell away.
Right.
And
So
it was successful.
So you know what? We're gonna have everybody roll initiative here because this is a fraught situation right now.
And, hey, y'all remember that we had a plan?
Mine was not getting caught, right?
I got a natural 20. Again.
So what's that?
+2, so 22. I think. +2 on initiative. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
You got 18.
I don't want to go
Bala gets-
first.
You can hold your action.
Bala gets 20. Okay, 18, Alaric, you said?
Yep.
Okay. That's Andrew. No, still not very good for Andrew.
I did tell Andrew to take care of the two of them. And I did remind her specifically of the mine. At least one people may get it.
I'm still going to have all of the Kuatoa on the same initiative just to make my life easier. Amethysts.
Amethyst and Archie both got 14. Amethyst has a better dex.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is that? I think that's all of you guys. And then it gets. Okay, so after the initial crossbow bolt, Nira, you are first. So what are you doing?
Looking around in confusion.
All right, that's what Nira does.
Yep.
The Kuatoa are Bala is with Otterkey, so she doesn't know what's happening. Except that she realizes she's just caused a disturbance. So I think I'm going to have her make a perception check to see if she can figure out what's happening. No, she's confused. And then Labley and Tiblio just, heard you tell them, like, essentially they saw you go back and they're still trying to blend in, so I'm going to have them make stealth checks with Andri.
They're significantly smarter than Thwippert, so they might survive this.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Labley, I think, is a little too emotional right now, so she can't help but let out a little bit of a squeak of fear that this is going all wrong, and several of the other Kuatoa kind of look over to her.
Maybe not according to plan, but certainly according to expectation.
Yeah. So, Alaric, that's actually you next now.
Cool.
Again.
I'm going to continue moving back the way we came.
Okay.
Across that, I'm going to use my bonus action to run. So I'll
All
double
right.
my movement through all of that. I can
Okay.
swim a little bit up to their heads, so I'm not actually walking through people.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't get a penalty, hopefully, for that. And I'm going to take another pot shot at the thing.
All right. So you're not moving as fast as you would be on land, but certainly
Right.
you can still move double what you would.
Moving whatever I can.
Yep.
That's not quite as good. That's only a 15 to hit.
Okay. 15 is actually exactly what you need.
Crossbow, I'm doing it up tonight. 7 damage.
Okay.
And I'll call out, it's a good thing I'm alone. Get the hint.
Okay. So it is actually the Mind Witness's turn now, and it does seem to be following you, and it's gonna roll 3 Ira attacks at you.
Yep.
So where is this? Is the first one is I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Oh, crap. All right.
Oh, boy.
15.
15.
Surprisingly
Okay.
good.
You feel like it's something was trying to make you doubt yourself, but you were able to shrug off the effect. Next, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
All right. That's a little bit better. And I roll a natural 1.
You suddenly have discovered that something has sapped your speed, and you feel yourself moving slowly. Your speed is halved for 1 minute, and you can't take. You have no reactions, and on your turn, you can do an action or a bonus action, but not both.
Okay.
You can repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn. And then another ray, a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, this is where it goes downhill. Perhaps that's cocked. 3.
A 3. So now you realize you've made a horrible mistake. This
Oh, that's
is
usually
this
the
is
case.
all going really badly. What did you think you were doing? You are now frightened of the mind witness.
Yeah, that was pretty much true anyway.
Yeah, for 1 minute. Okay, so and that is the mind witness's turn.
Yep, I've got its full attention. So at least that part of the plan is working.
Yep. All right, so it's Amethyst's turn. She is with Nira, who had just basically caught up to Alaric before he continued back in the other direction.
And I
But-
am still holding on to her. So.
Okay.
Still got a grip.
Okay.
And bear in mind that everyone, so Alaric is visible, Lably and Intiblio are visible off in the other direction. Everyone else is still invisible.
At least stays that way.
So, okay. Actions and attacks. Do I get the feeling I could conjure some animals without
You
compromising?
know what? I think casting a spell would break it.
Yeah, it makes
Well,
sense.
but didn't she already cast?
It's not an
Pass Without
offensive
Trace?
spell.
Pass Without Trace was before you activated your invisibility.
True.
So, I mean, she could cast it, but she would become visible. Ends if it attacks or casts a spell.
Okay. That's fair.
Keep going.
Trying to think, what would she do?
This is definitely, with all of you, half of you invisible and getting separated, it's not going great.
Not ideal.
Hey, we
people
achieved the
with
first
me are
objective.
still
I'd say we're doing
invisible.
fine.
It's about par for the course, right?
The people with me are, the people with her are still invisible, so
Yes.
she
So
will stay
Nira
invisible.
is hanging on to her for whatever she does. You guys do see Alaric, who has just kind of moved past you back in the other direction. He also is not looking great all of a sudden as he's got this thing's full attention.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's gonna yeah, she's not gonna act because she doesn't want to break the.
She's staying where she is. She's going to maybe try to
Yeah.
move over to where Labely and Tiblio
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, try to consolidate.
Probably not a terrible idea. Okay, so Nira, I am assuming, going to allow yourself to be pulled over in that direction by Amethyst.
Yes.
So now, Otterkey, your turn. You basically and Bala were, uh-oh, kaboom. And so obviously this thing was heading for you, but now you can tell that Alaric has drawn its attention.
Let me do my job.
It was just the first thing that was popped in my head was that let the crazy bastard do his thing. So, we will also try to consolidate.
All right. So you saw where
Grab Bala.
Alaric came from, the direction he came from. Are you going to try to head, like, backtrace his steps?
Exactly, with a wide berth.
All right. So I'll say that, assuming that you guys are going to try to move stealthily, I'm going to have you each make another stealth roll. I mean, I'll roll for Bala, but...
Yeah.
And you're back within the pass of the trace, I think, at this point.
yeah.
11.
All right, so you are... was that with advantage for you?
Oh, that was without advantage.
Actually, technically,
I didn't think we were with
you would
advantage.
have advantage for being invisible, but your plate armor would give you disadvantage. So
Right, plate armor gives me a -1, doesn't it? Or was it?
I think it's just
I think
disadvantage.
it is disadvantage flat out. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So it equalizes.
okay.
So then it would be 12.
Bala didn't roll well either, though. So I would say that you guys are fairly aware that you're moving in the opposite direction, and you're just unable to make progress without kind of shoving aside more of these Kuo-toa. So you kind of have committed to your action, and you're gonna try to get to where the others are, even if it means you're definitely being noticed. All right, it is Andree's turn, and she is just probably sitting there, clutching, the two other Kuo-toa in her hands and gritting her teeth and just saying, "Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on." All right,
Where they
Nira.
get that tattoo that says acceptable losses on it.
So, Nira, you are up again. Amethyst is pulling you away from the direction Alaric went. Are you still... so right now you've kind of lost track of everybody except him and obviously Amethyst, who's holding on to you.
Okay, I am going to make a sweep to see who I can spot.
Okay. You do... well, make a perception check.
Fortunately, I have pretty high perceptions. And that is a 24.
Okay. Yeah, you basically you spot everybody. You see Andri holding on to Antiblio and Labely, and you see Bala and Otterkey sort of fighting through the crowd to get over in that direction.
Kind of want to shout at them, but
They seem to be
Probably
moving in a roughly, intercepting direction already.
okay, I'm just gonna keep an eye on them. Then I'm not gonna.
Okay. So, so how about this? You can hold a shout if they seem to start going awry.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. Okay. So it is the Kuo-toa now then, but they seem to all be in on this plan that, I'm going to say Labely and Antiblio are going to try to hide. They're not doing great, but they're also, you know what, with Andri there, you know what, actually they're...
And the pass without a trace.
Which...
They're still in that.
Does apply to labeling.
They have to be near Amethyst, so as you guys draw closer, they will be back within it, but I would say...
Oh, I thought we were already.
Okay,
Were we
well,
not all the way there?
I think as you know what, I'll it's fine. Nobody's paying attention to that direction anyway. So okay, Alaric, you are up again. You are frightened. You are slowed.
Yep. Okay. I will use my bonus action,
Okay.
and I will swim as fast as I can away from this creature because it's frightening me.
In what direction?
Which also happens to be away from everywhere else.
Okay,
From
you're
where
going back in the
continuing
direction
on.
you guys had come, or
Going in the city was a terrible idea. I realize
Okay.
this now. I'm going to go leave the city.
all
At least
right.
I'm gonna-
So
Okay.
with your motion is halved and you're dashing, so you're basically
Within normal speed.
only getting about 25 feet or so.
Yep. Not much else I can do.
Yep. All right. Yeah, this thing is now coming for you. Okay, but it's actually pretty slow too, so it's moving in your direction, but it can't get all the way to you.
Did you say that its eye was clouded over, right?
It has one big central eye that's clouded over and blind, and then you put a crossbow bolt in it, but it also has eye stalks on several of these little tentacles, and that's what it's shooting its beams with.
Gotcha.
And so it's going to shoot 3 more beams at you.
Yep. Ooh, crap.
So that's make your saving throws at the end of your turn before it goes.
Okay.
So make another wisdom saving throw and another dexterity saving throw.
Wisdom's not my strong suit. 13. It's better than I expected.
You are no longer frightened.
Well, that's handy.
Dexterity?
And dexterity, I got a 10.
10, you're still slowed. So,
Right.
but you're not panicked, not frightened anymore.
Well, I'm still frightened.
All right, but
Another-
so it's you actually get the feeling that it just fired the slowing ray at you again, but you're already still affected by it, so no new action there. Make another charisma saving throw.
Just managed to make one. 14.
14.
No, 15.
Yeah, so that's a success. No effect from that. And then make a strength saving throw.
Damn. 8.
You find yourself lifted up off your feet and then moving backwards as though in a tractor beam, dragged back towards the
Towards the
Mindwind.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm
in
already
fact-
floating, so that's not so bad.
Yeah, and in fact, you
close does it
actually
get?
find yourself pulled basically right up into its grip and held there like the beam
Oh,
is
okay.
holding you in place.
Hey, sweetheart.
All right.
You want to dance?
Amethyst's turn. You guys have you're pretty confident you've gotten everybody together except Alaric, but he's in a bad spot right now.
I'm fine. I have a plan. It's a bad plan. So pretty normal, really.
Okay.
Oops, how far away from him
Amethyst
are we?
and so I would say you guys are probably about 40, 50 feet.
From Alaric?
Yeah. Because he was actually going back in the other direction.
Right.
Although he just got pulled closer, he was further away than that. You just got pulled 30 feet closer, but right into the clutches of this thing.
Kind of upward.
Yeah.
But I might point out that all of you are now free, and you can get away easily.
Yeah.
So my plan worked,
not
technically.
Amethyst style, so
Not
she's
gonna
gonna
leave.
try to move
All right.
away from everybody else.
What are you doing? Stop it! Wait, I'm going to use my shout to not shout, but be like, "Stop it!"
All right. Try to persuade her to not do whatever she's about to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was a held action. So would Amethyst change her mind if Nero tried to grab her and stop her from doing that? Moving away?
We roll for it.
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say that is a perfect opportunity.
Persuasion?
I'd say contested charisma roll would make sense to me.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Which Amethyst did.
19.
horribly. Yeah. She did horribly so. All right.
So you can still
She
have
was
her do
demure.
something else if you want. And I mean, obviously you're
Yeah,
running
yeah.
the character, so however you
Right.
go ahead.
Yeah. She doesn't know what else to do. She's like,
It's
wants
a
to run
tough
over
situation. You guys are in a tight spot here.
interact.
Unless you want to just blow your
So-
cover and run for it, but whatever.
Right.
Seems like a bad idea.
She will demur and wait.
Okay, is she going to hold any action or do anything else?
Is she gonna yell at me later?
Yeah, I mean, so in her mind, what she was thinking of doing is polymorph to the combatant. To
Well,
if it looked like Alaric was, in mortal danger.
well, it did just bring it to him. You didn't really...
Physically, he looks fine. There's no blood in the water.
Right.
The last
right.
time you fought one of these, it didn't really get a chance to do that much.
Right.
It tried a lot and failed to do things.
So that's kind of her held action. If it looks
Alright.
like Alaric's gonna die, she's gonna try to polymorph the thing.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so so that's Amethyst. What about you? What about Autarky?
And I'll agree they're together, and now, what was I prepping? He was... So... We're together now, 30. Yeah, he's gonna wait too, because the temperature of the room.
All right.
But yeah, he's basically ready to Misty Step and charge over and start slashing things.
Okay.
But he'll wait and see what happens.
All right. So is that a held action for some
Yeah.
trigger? What's the trigger? Because it seems clear that the Mind Witness is planning to do something.
Right. Yeah, the trigger is Alaric taking damage.
Okay. All right. Andri, her turn. And she is. Nero is the only one who can see her, but she's looking very unhappy about this situation. But seems to be on board still with the idea that it. Hopefully, if Alaric can get away, then you have not blown the cover because you don't know what else is going to be in this place. But she is also, essentially ready to spring into action should everything go to hell. Then she is prepared to participate. So, Nira, you're up again.
Oh my god. Okay.
This is tense. I'm amazed. This is great.
Yeah. Okay.
Sort
Let
of
me
a
think.
non-standard combat encounter for sure.
So I can see Archie and Bala, right? They're
Yeah, so
Clustered
basically everyone now is kind of roughly clustered together. You're aware that probably some of the Koatoa in your immediate vicinity are aware that something's going on, but also the Mind Witness seems to be completely focused on Alaric.
okay. Here's my thought. We've got Alaric in trouble. We've got a mission. We have to go to this place. I'm thinking we split up. So, but obviously one of us with the piece has to be able to close the thing. So somebody's gonna have to go. That's not main party, or that's main party. Crap. Okay. See, Archie, take Bala and Amethyst and Andri and the two others and go to the tower, and I'll stay and help Alaric.
Are you whispering that to them, or?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then I'm going to. Can I still do an action, or does
Yeah,
that count as my
I'll let that
action?
whispering be your. Amethyst is probably going to give you harsh words. It's just like, what? You just stopped me.
He
Now-
is the one that might immediately need healing, so That's why. That's literally the only reason.
Be
And
a
also, I have a
cleric.
warhammer,
Be a
so.
cleric.
Okay, so I am going to cast Guiding Bolt and break my invisibility.
All right.
Hell.
So Nira pops
damn
back
it.
into the visible spectrum and make your attack roll against the mind witness.
Okay. Guiding Bolt. Hold on. Okay. There we go. And that is a d20, right? Yes?
Well, yeah, and your spell attack bonus.
Yeah, okay. 20 total.
Okay. Yeah, 20 will hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
46. Okay. 14.
14.
And he's sparkly now.
Yeah.
It's sparkly. I don't think it has a gender.
It's certainly not obvious how you would tell.
It.
It's very tentacly.
Run, go, get out of here!
If people don't remember, because I don't have us on a map at present, but this is what this thing looks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it is now very sparkly, but also Nira has just made herself visible. Are you moving? Are you moving closer? Or
How far am I from it?
you're about like 40 feet.
I'm going to stay where I'm at.
Okay. It's the Kuo-toa's turn right now, and they are not going to cooperate with your plan. They've, Bala is the only one of them that's still invisible anyway, and so what you guys see first is Intiblio, the newly sort of rescued one, turn to Labley and say, "Bloop, bloop, 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 bloop," and he draws the spear. And so, and he's going to swim up in the direction of this thing and attack with his spear.
Damn it.
Let's see. I'm making sure I have his appropriate. All right. Well, I can just go ahead and roll.
Don't forget, he's got advantage.
Yes, he does. And with this spear, he's gonna do.
Damn it, I could use that.
He does 10 points of damage
Nice.
as he swims up behind it and jabs it with the spear. Actually, let me think. Yeah. The Kuo-toa have a swim speed of 40, so they're not slow in the water the way the rest of you are.
Yeah.
And then Labley is going to basically swim up to follow, and she's going to give basically an inspiration to you, Alaric. Which, if you could speak bloop bloop, you would know probably amounts to, "We're not going to leave you behind."
Which my response is, damn it, why are you still here?
But you now have a D8 inspiration die.
Ooh.
And then Bala is going to swim up and try to chomp this thing. Chomp, chomp.
Damn it, she's still invisible. Which means she gets advantage,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. So she is going to...
Maybe we can inspire a Kuo-toa revolution here. See them overthrow a guard.
Yeah, that
Quick, slap
definitely
the rest of
hits. So she hits with her bite for 7 damage, and then locks her jaw. Shoot. And then it's going to attack with her spear too. It's also going to hit. wow, she rolled really well on the damage, max basically that she could get with the damage on. So she gets another 9 damage for that. And so this thing is actually looking pretty beat up now. So they're basically, you know, they've come to rescue you, Alaric. They're beating on this thing. It's not dead yet, but it is actually now your turn.
So it's not looking great, though.
Yeah, this thing, I mean, it could take a few more hits like that, but not many more than that.
Right. Oh, decisions. Okay, here's the question. I'm right up next to it. It's got me kind of pinned to it, right?
Basically, you are considered restrained.
Cool.
By this telekinetic force. Yeah.
It means you can't get away from me either, right? It's within hand range?
Right, yeah, it basically brought you within melee range.
So here's the question. If I reach out my hand and plant it on its skin and cast a spell, is that going to give me advantage to hit?
Hang on, I'm just double checking rules for restraint. Your attack has a disadvantage, but attack rolls have a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But if it's just a touch spell, with a saving throw, or yeah. So because you're restrained, your attack roll would have a disadvantage, but otherwise you can do it.
So they're gonna have disadvantage anyway, so I might as well. It's less damage, but I'll stab him with my dagger twice.
All right. You definitely have allies within range, so.
Oh yeah. That is
Doesn't he have a D8 as well for something?
I do. It rolled an 8. I got a let's see. I got a 30 with disadvantage.
Nice.
The 8 helped a lot. So the dagger and this.
A 30 hits.
I kind of assumed. But I still only do 10 points of damage.
It doesn't look like it could take much more.
But I do have another attack.
All right. Did you roll your sneak attack? You get it because you have.
Yeah, that was added on. It rolled a 1.
Okay.
Dagger. There it is. That's what I expected. So I rolled a 1 on the die.
Okay.
That's more like it.
I think you dropped your dagger.
I think I did.
Yeah.
And I don't have a bonus action because I don't have it at this point.
You do, however, get to once again make your saving throw against the slow.
Right.
Which was the dexterity saving throw for that one. Yeah.
The strength and the dexterity one, or just the dexterity?
No, basically that you don't get to roll against the restrained again. That just wears off when it's the Mind Flayer's turn, or the the Mind Witness's turn again.
Crap. Dexterity? I rolled a 6, so it's staying.
You're still slowed. Yeah. Okay. So it is the Mind Witness's turn now, and it's considerably, kind of beat up now. But it's actually going to attack you with its tentacles.
Yeah.
And it gets an 18 attack.
I don't have reactions, do I?
Nope. Not because when you're slowed, you don't.
Actually, no, I didn't cast Mage Armor yet. So, yep, that hits.
So let's see. That's going to be. $17. Wait, no. 19 psychic damage. And you are now grappled by its tentacles.
I was already grappled, so.
And I need you to make a intelligence saving throw.
Ooh, this could hurt. That is an 11.
Secret predation double.
You are now stunned.
Most people would call me that anyway.
Yeah. And so it's going to, while it's got you grappled, it's also going to bite your head.
Okay, so I can't move, I can't take an action, and I don't have bonus actions.
You're stunned.
I'm pretty much done. Let's see how this hurts.
Luckily, it was not able to get a good chomp on you. Like, it was grappled, but it had you in sort of the wrong position, so it actually misses with its bite attack.
Wow.
But it is now going to try to fly away with you. But that also means that
3 opportunity
Bala
attacks.
and Intiglio get opportunity attacks. Well, and actually, Bala is grappled to it, so she's going to get her attack anyway. But it's basically, and she got a crit with that attack. So
Large chunk going away.
yeah, basically, it starts trying to fly away with you. But what you experience, basically, Alaric, is that you're kind of stunned, just frozen in terror, unable to move or even make yourself breathe. But then all of a sudden, this thing just kind of goes rigid, and its tentacles all stick out straight, and then it kind of just drops you, and you find yourself once again able to move and everything. And the thing is obviously now just sort of floating. And as it floats around, turning around, you see Bala standing there with a huge chunk of it, and you can see she's got half of a brain, she's pulled this chunk of head out of this thing. She's just so.
I'm probably looking cross-eyed at this moment because I'm still stunned.
No, the stun was released when it died.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was a hitting. I
it's
thought that was a hitting
basically
effect.
No, it was it was the intelligence saving throw. So it was magically holding you, and it was going to try to take you back.
Slowly coming out of the stun.
So
raising
it's
up
dead,
a thumb.
but you guys have attracted a lot of attention. There's several of you who are visible now. So what's the plan?
And then get the hell out of here, you stupid frog! And I started waving them away. Swimming like mad.
All right. So we've got Bala and Intiglio, and you, kind of all in the general vicinity with the dead thing. Nira is basically down on ground level, but where you guys can basically all see each other, but you're a little bit spread out still right now. And
I'll give Nira a good look.
lots of the Kuo-toa are just standing and looking at you now, and then you do hear all of you in your head. You hear voices saying, "Security, respond to Section A7."
Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay.
You were supposed to run. Damn it!
I tried, man.
I had it. Just where I
Bala
wanted it.
is totally letting you have it in her blue language.
Yeah, well, good biting, you little frog. Move.
Let's get out of here.
Where are you doing? Are you trying to kind of lose yourself in the alleys again, or are you? Which direction are you heading?
Which way to the tower?
So basically, the tower is kind of very obvious in the center of town. So if you were to go along the ground, you could be at the base of it in just a few minutes. Or it would be slightly longer if you wanted to just go straight to the top of it. But however you want to handle that, I'll assume you guys have managed to get yourselves back in a group together. Let's see, Amethyst and Andry and Otterkey are still invisible.
Yeah.
Good. All the
Okay.
A's. That's weird.
Well, you're not. You're an A, and you're not.
They're all A's. I can go invisible.
You guys
in
are a very A-heavy
fine.
party.
We didn't get far on the naming list. Sorry. Let's get going, folks.
Okay, let's maybe not take a direct route, but try to back alley it to the tower.
Serpentine.
Because I don't know that we can get access from the top. Maybe, but I think we'd attract a lot of attention that way too.
Amethyst and Otterkey and Nira, you're definitely, as you get closer to the tower, you're feeling sort of the pulse in your little scar. It indicate you are moving closer to a fissure.
Boom, boom.
So as you guys are kind of are you trying to be stealthy, or are you trying to put distance between you right now? What's the priority in your motion right now?
Both.
I'm trying to stay invisible.
Well,
But
so
with urgency.
what I'm saying is there's going to be stealth and there's going to be speed, and one is higher priority than the other. Which is it?
I think keeping out of sight is probably the biggest priority,
And
right?
stealth is still our big advantage.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
don't have to go too far on ground level before you can get out of line of sight of like that whole area. So if you guys are going to do that, then I'll go ahead and everyone make new stealth checks. Those of you who are still invisible get advantage, except for RG because he gets a straight roll with his armor.
We do
Although
get
Right.
the pass without a trace still, I think, right?
yes, now that you're all back within 30 feet of each other, you now have the plus 10 again.
21.
39.
Wow. It is a good thing Andrea is already good at stealth and has that plus 10 because she just rolled a 2.
Somehow Archie
Wait,
got
hold on.
20.
Hold 1 second.
Yeah. Hiding I can do. It's like the one thing I can do. I had it.
No, you didn't.
I was fine.
No, you weren't.
I had him right where I
You're
wanted
welcome.
Quick. Dog micro emergency.
him. He should still be invisible.
Yeah, okay, so you guys believe that you are hidden for the moment, but certainly aware that you are being searched for.
Hopefully they're searching in the wrong place.
But after
No,
after a few
no.
minutes, you guys are able to, staying at ground level, you are able to get back to the get to the base of the tower. You see that there is sort of a big open entrance on the ground level. You also, from this level, it's hard to see if there's any opening at the top or not.
Let's see. Maybe Antiblio knows something since he's been here. So, I'm gonna look at the other two, like Bala and Labley. I'm gonna point at Antiblio and let's see, like do like this, like point at my head, and then at the tower, see if maybe they understand.
Right.
I don't think I understand.
You hear a lot of the back and forth between them as they're discussing, and he points at a lot of things. Some of them are not even close to the tower, but then as they kind of continue their hushed, hurried discussion, Antiblio does nod and points to the top of the tower.
Okay, so does that mean we have to go there, or that it is there?
I think it's at the top.
Yep. Well, do we want to try to swim up through open water and see if
Is there
there's a...
no cover at all if we can get around the tower?
Everyone make a perception check.
Archie has an 8.
I can't see.
14.
Has a 12.
I got a 1.
All right. Wow, nobody rolled especially well.
12's the highest.
You don't see
14.
any cover, but obviously, for whatever side of the tower you're on, you'd have cover from the other side, right? Like you use the tower itself as cover in some ways. But there's kind of a lot of open water, and who knows what might be in any of that up there. You also see a big open door on this level, but who knows what would be in there? So
Yeah, fighting our way up the tower or sneaking up the side of it. How tall is the tower? Hundreds of feet, right?
yeah, but at the same time, you can just swim right up. It's not like climbing, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
take very long to get up there.
What's the range of your spells, Nirikina?
Well, it depends on the spell. Like there's the only thing that I have that might be able to hide us, I don't think will work down here in the water, because I have fog cloud, and that's more of an
That'd be
air
like a
thing.
Fog suit.
I don't know if that would work down here.
I was thinking it might provide support if you can shoot things at a distance.
Well,
And Tiblio is hearing you discuss, and he kind of just stops you again and just.
What is he pointing at?
He points into the door on the ground level.
Oh, that seals it.
yeah. Guess we go the direct route.
Well,
And I mean,
Always.
if there's no door, I mean, I do still have shatter. So-
you got anything for a quick escape too?
oh, I wish.
Anarchy and Amethyst and Andre are still invisible.
Should we send
They
them
have
up
a better
first?
chance at sneaking in than you would.
All right.
That's the problem. Is I'd rather have you with us, Nirkina, but if you're going to be spotted, that's no good.
Yeah, exactly. So,
You're
I can
also
stay
hearing
here.
activity moving in your direction.
okay.
Go soon.
We can run interference down here if you guys want to head to the top.
Okay.
This is such a bad idea.
Don't die in the door outward.
All
Plus,
right.
we still
Okay.
got to talk about that stuff that we experienced.
Yeah. So hurry back.
Invisible one's going up to the top. Everyone else is
Yes.
staying on
On
the
board.
bottom level. Hopefully
Yeah.
to
Yep.
try to act as diversion, or
Yeah.
are you
or
doing anything
recruitment.
to act as diversion, or are you just basically waiting to see if anyone finds you?
Trying to stay out of sight,
Okay.
basically.
So you're not doing a diversion. You're just basically in waiting for anyone who's following.
If like I want to kind of keep an eye on like the open water. Like if I see something coming, then
Go ahead and make another perception check.
Can I make a stealth roll for her to hide her?
For who? For Nira?
Nirkina.
there's another 14. Didn't work
I would
out.
say you can aid her in making a stealth roll.
All right. If
14.
I can help you find a spot to
Um,
hide.
Yeah, you're not sure. You feel like somewhere in the open water, maybe even above the top of the tower, there does seem to be some sort of a shape up there, but you really can't get any more of a sense than that. You only saw it for a second.
All right.
It's not right by the top of the tower, it's just up in that direction somewhere. But scale and all that is weird, and it's a little bit murky once you get a few hundred feet away.
Well,
Nirkina, I don't know how spirits work, but I got the boon from Elamini. Can I give it to you somehow?
You can.
what is that?
Remember
Boom.
the charm that you guys all had, you could use it on yourself, or you could do it on someone else.
Good. I can make you invisible too. Or instead of me. I'll find a way to hide. That's not a problem.
Are you sure?
Hell yeah. You're a lot better hidden than I am. Wait, that didn't come out right. I can hide myself just fine. Because I'm going to use it anyway.
All right.
All
So, the are you guys trying? What are you telling the Kuatoa?
I guess Alaric's gonna stay behind with them. Is that the plan?
I was going to go with you. But if you guys
Because
just
they
stay here-
definitely were pretty clear that they thought the plan was everyone's going up to the top.
Right. They should hold back and let the rest sneak in.
Tell them to scramble around the side. There's my camera.
Okay, how about this? I like point at them and be like, "You are watching."
Yeah.
Try.
Make a make a performance check.
Can I aid
Well-
her in my terrible way?
No, that's not going well. Okay, performance is with performance it's 6.
Does aiding give her advantage?
Yes. So basically, you, yeah. If you guys are all helping, you can roll with advantage.
Okay, so what was that again? Plus 3. Yeah, so 14 with advantage.
They seem a little bit unsure, but they also don't. They seem to be waiting as opposed to trying to leave. Like they're waiting with you as opposed to continuing to try to go up the tower.
Close enough.
All right.
There we go.
So, you guys are setting up, finding a hiding spot. In the meantime, Amethyst with her Pass Without Trace bubble and Andri and Archie all invisible.
I'm giving Nirikina mind visibility.
Okay.
So, boom,
Oh,
let's go
are
now.
you sending her up with the others then too?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And I was going to go myself.
Okay, so you're all going and telling. Oh, I see.
And he's just going to try to be stealthy.
I
I'm
speak
just
your
gonna be
language, and
stealthy.
I was still not 100%. Okay. All right then. So
No
I
more
think
playing
that's
the
going to be a
hero.
lot harder to persuade the Koatoa to they
Yeah.
wait there at the bottom while the rest of you leave. But I
Well,
think
when the rest of them vanish,
I think you, at this point, if that's the plan that all four of you and Andri are all planning to go up there, that like you're getting one of those things where it's like, no, you stay here. Well, I'll go up there, and
fine.
then they immediately go to follow you as soon as you.
Yeah. Fine by me. I kind of shh. At least maybe they might get that part, or or something.
Okay, so I'm still gonna be the invisible one. Is that what's
You're
going
invisible.
on?
I'm just gonna.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we're all making stealth rolls. Those of you who are invisible get advantage. Everybody gets the +10 Pass Without Trace as you're climbing the tower.
Right.
There's no roll to actually climb because you're more or less floating. Only Archie has to kind of swim his way up there, but he's tough. He can do it.
26.
20.
Yeah, I think you know. You guys are being relatively stealthy under the circumstances. You are not aware of anything. There's you don't hear any alarms or anything.
Hey, it's just one stupid dwarf and 3 frogs climbing a mountain. What can or climbing a tower? What could possibly go wrong?
So, you guys make your way up the tower. It doesn't take all that long to get up there since you're essentially just swimming upward. But as you get close to the top, you realize that it is basically sort of the structure on the very top of the tower is sort of cube shaped, open on one side. And as you kind of get to the top, I would imagine you kind of don't immediately go into that opening, but once you can kind of go around to the side where you see the opening, there's actually sort of a blob like a bubble sort of around that side, and you realize that there is something magically keeping just air in the center of whatever this cube is. Right now, I'm assuming you have not yet sort of crossed the threshold to where you would be visible or be able to yourself see inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you right now, what you see is that one side of the structure is open, and there's sort of a bubble transition that seems to have air inside it.
Is it translucent?
Can move up to the edge and.
Yeah, I
pop
mean, it
my
looks
head
like
in
it would
the
be
bubble?
transparent. It's just a matter of whether you've climbed up high enough to look through line of sight into the room, which would also potentially make you visible to whatever's inside.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
somebody
wanna creep
that's
up to the
invisible
edge
should.
and pop my head in the bubble.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Yeah, as you kind of stick your head through, you realize, there's some sort of a magical effect that you just pass right through. And so what you see, and I'm going to take us to a map.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
We made it to a map. We survived that long.
Technically, when you were in the alleys, I had a map we could have used for that, but it was pretty basic, and you guys were kind of vertical too. So let me explain what you're seeing here. So this is this sort of bubble transition here. So you guys have just sort of come up from beneath here, like right around here. So what you see in this sort of space, you see an enormous sort of like almost like a giant spiral seashell with a huge mass of weird red rubbery tentacles thing. And I mean, this thing is like 30 feet tall. It's huge, but it's sitting, taking up a lot of the space in this big open area here. Beyond it, you can see the glimmer of purple light that is familiar. And then you see also, you're right here, you see that there's probably some space over behind the thing, but you can't really get a good look at that side yet.
All right, so I am going to go up and
You guys are still
over.
beside me, right? It's kind of, I'm not under my breath.
Yeah, we're going in. Don't see anybody
All right.
yet.
Let me see if I attract any attention. I'll sneak in.
So as soon as you come through the little transition, you're now not floating anymore. So who is actually entering the area?
I'll go in.
I'm going
Everybody?
in. To get you in there, though.
All right. So still
I want to get that
invisible,
looked at.
but Alaric's not invisible, but so you don't see anybody on this side as you're just climbing in. But I'll just go ahead and put everybody here. You know what? Let me zoom in the camera just a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, so basically the four of you and Andri, and then we've got, you know, a little Bala and Labely. And Antiglio, because he rescued him. Where's my little token? There he is. Ta-da! So I'll say you guys, they kind of just followed you in, and so you're all sort of crowded into that space now. Still, Nira, Otterkey, Amethyst, and Andri are still invisible.
I want to make a run for the Fisher.
Okay. just gonna basically dash for it and just try to just run at it and get it.
Yep.
You do that, and you run to it, and you have your sort of shoulder ready to sort of shoulder check the this giant fisher in space. One of the things you notice as you get close to it and look at it is that it is bigger than the ones you've seen before.
This is gonna hurt.
And so, but you jump and sort of run, you know, and you feel it, you know, pulsing in your shoulder as you leap towards it. But then, as has happened before, when you get within contact, you feel the energy of this fisher being funneled through this, you know, this fragment in your shoulder, and you seal it.
Yay!
Whoa!
Planning, what the hell was that?
And then as you have sealed it and you kind of land on your feet and you have this moment of victory and exhilaration, you realize, you kind of look over here, and then from this angle you realize there's two mind flayers standing right there looking at you just like with horror. Like
I guess I am no longer invisible.
no, you are no longer
Visibility,
invisible.
I guess.
So we're actually going to roll initiative again. Although, you know what? It's actually... So here, I'm going to let you guys decide. We've been going for 2 hours. If we're starting another combat, and depending on how you guys want to handle it...
Run for our lives, maybe.
well, you know, so I guess what I'm saying is we could have this be a good cliffhanger point, or if you want to keep going, we can do that too.
All in.
Power
all
through.
in,
All right.
in,
Well, then
all
we're rolling
in.
initiative. Whoops.
20.
Sorry, Mark,
Okay,
you
hold
got
on,
stuck.
not quite ready.
I'm sorry I made you guys wait so long.
No, that was tense before. Okay, Nira got 20, you said?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Damn, Amethyst has a +3.
Okay, Alaric?
9. At least this might mean that Nirkeet might run properly.
That's who I all got 5. So.
She's in a hurry. She is.
Henry got... Ooh,
You heard of
25.
distractions. I use them all the time.
Well, now would be a good time for one.
Yeah.
You've already created a pretty good distraction.
Don't know you're here. Just leave. No, don't leave. Please don't leave.
I'm not.
Okay, Andrew got 25, actually. The Quetzal all got 5. Amethyst?
Amethyst has a 14.
And Otterkey?
15.
Okay. And then your adversaries.
Pardon me.
What do
Wants
they
to
get?
go back.
They get 16. Okay. So, Andrea is actually first up. She is still invisible. She is...
Well, she can't see them, right? She doesn't know there's anybody here.
Right, yeah. She just saw you pop visible again. So I think she is actually going to kind of scout over in this direction just to kind of get a sense of what's happening. You know, situational awareness. So she does see them now, but she is actually not going to attack just yet. She is going to hold her action that if they try to run like towards where you are, she'll fire her crossbow at them, or short bow. It's not a crossbow, short bow. So she is ready to fire if they make a move towards you. Okay, Nira, so you are actually next.
I'm gonna go back the way I came.
Okay.
And shoot, you know what? I kind of wanna.
If you're dashing, you can get all the way out. This is your regular movement.
Yeah. Hold on. I need to check the range on something.
Okay.
Real fast. I'm so excited right now. 60 feet. Okay. How far are those guys?
So, well, you got a big thing in between you
Yeah.
if you moved first.
So yeah.
But
that's what
so
I'm-
if so you were here, so if you cast something before moving, you would be 5,
Yeah,
10,
okay.
15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay. I'm gonna move second then.
Okay.
If I could do that. Okay.
Yep.
And then I would like to cast banishment.
Okay, so I think
Oh.
that's on 1, right? You can cast it on 1 but not both.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah. Okay. Banishment. So that what saving throw is that?
Charisma.
Okay, let me
Please,
Hopefully they're not
roll.
good singers.
please, 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 please.
Okay. 12.
Yes.
So that's not enough. So basically, as you sort of reach out, but you are now, you are holding your concentration to try to maintain that banishment and try to ideally make it stick. But yes, it is now vanished. And then you move, I would guess.
Yes. And then I move.
All right.
So like, boom, fish are gone. Oh, your guy is gone.
Yeah, so I'll just give you guys an insight that that remaining Mind Flayer is really confused right now. It's like, what is happening?
In like
Because-
12 seconds, a whole lot of shit has just happened. Pardon my language. A whole lot of crap.
Because I mean, the thing is too that they knew something was going on, that there was an incursion, but like they had no way to know that you guys were able to close the fissure like that. That's brand new. And then yeah, so all right. So that is, it is the Mind Flayer's turn now. And that one, let's see. He is, what is that last? Yeah. And then his speed. Let's
So
see.
is he moving
Yeah.
towards where
5,
Nirkina
10,
presumably went?
15,
Oh.
20,
Oh.
25. Well, he saw her run this way, so he's basically going to head her off. Goes up to here.
Is Andrea going to use her held action?
I'm going to do that in just a second. She was ideal thinking that, so she didn't
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
Nira did. So he
She
sees
saw
it
one
moving this
disappear.
direction. So she's kind of playing it by ear here, but basically it comes around and it looks at sort of the collection here, and then so basically
Oh, like frowny face.
Andrea is outside the range of this cone, and let's see. So I'm actually going to say Nira is just outside the range. No, because he was definitely trying to get her. So I'm going to say...
Are we all suffering for Nira this time?
I'm going to say, yeah, so this is Bala, so everyone here in this cone is going to have to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, crap.
God, please let this banish me. I just need 1 minute, y'all.
Oh, I got a 20 total.
20 is a success.
So that's intelligence, you said?
Yeah.
Saving throw, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
17.
17 is a success.
Whew.
We need Archie and Amethyst.
All right. What are we saving?
Intelligence.
Intelligence saving throw, yeah.
Intel. Thank you. Archie gets 14.
14 is a failure. And then, so both of your Quota and Archie failed. Did you roll for Amethyst?
Amethyst. Get her mod. 15.
15 is just a success. So, so basically, the two Quota and Archie are the only failures, fortunately, in this particular thing. But so what happens to them? The rest of you see they immediately clutch their heads like they're in extreme pain, and so you're going to take. That's not as bad as it could have been. Going to take 16 psychic damage, only for the ones that failed, and you are stunned. So I would say Alaric, like the rest of you, see them suddenly look like they have a headache so bad they can't really even move. They're just sort of frozen, like. All right, so that is the Mind Flayer's turn. Autarky, you are stunned. So unfortunately, you are able to repeat the saving throw. If so, you can make another intelligence saving throw to try to end the stun.
$17.
You are no longer stunned, but that is your turn.
Okay.
All right, Amethyst's turn.
Amethyst. So she was not stunned.
Yeah, she's okay.
Does she know if these would be considered a person, like for the hold person spell?
Unfortunately, I think
humanoid?
whole person they are not. She doesn't think these things look pretty alien.
Not humanoid. Okay. Ooh. Then I was gonna go with the conjure animals
All right.
and conjure. I believe it's 4 tiger sharks.
Okay.
There's no water in here, though. Keep that in mind.
Oh wait. Oh, I thought we were still underwater.
No, that's
No,
air
you're-
bubble.
Air in the dome.
Yeah, air in this room.
Okay.
Four tiger sharks
Not
appear
do
and start
that.
gasping on the
She can
ground.
conjure the tiger sharks just out in the water if she wants to, like, maybe cover your escape or something. But not in the room, or else they'd just be flopping on the ground.
Right, gotcha. Okay, let me double check. That would not be the go-to.
Four tigers.
Humanoidy. But we can try for the polymorph.
Yeah.
Creature that you can see within range.
Yeah.
Transform them into a new form. A frog.
Okay. That's a
Wisdom saving
wisdom
throw.
saving throw. They're pretty good
Oh.
at that, but let's see.
And the spell DC is
Oh, you know what? It's
14.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, it actually gets to roll with an advantage, but both are successful. So the polymorph, unfortunately, does not take hold. Amethyst gets a sense as she tries, and it just shakes off the spell. That's like these things have fairly powerful magic resistance.
Fair.
Yeah.
Just wanna move that.
They don't look that physically strong, but they're kind of that, magic resistance and, mind stuff seems to be their jam.
Right.
So maybe spreading out is a smart idea.
Well, we would have if we had a chance to.
All right. So that was Amethyst's turn. Is she going to move or do anything else?
Yes, movement. So she could move. Let me go ahead and move her down for me. So let's say 5, 10.
What, like towards the center?
So I was thinking, yeah, so it'd be catty corner next to the. Oh, who is that down there?
This is
The
Andrew,
Mind Flayer?
and that's the mind flayer.
Yeah. It's down next to Andrew.
Okay. So I'm going to say that Andrea didn't, her held action didn't trigger from what it was doing, but she's definitely aware that it's attacking now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, that's sure. So Amethyst is moving what over near
Head
her?
down next to Andrew.
Okay. She doesn't actually
And I'm-
see Andrea because Andrea's still invisible, but
Gotcha.
she can kind of head down in that direction to.
And then I believe it's a bonus action to transform into the panda.
Oh. Yes. See if I still have that panda token around here somewhere.
We are leaving.
Pandemonium.
I thought we were leaving.
There's my panda. There we go. Vroomf. I think she probably actually knocks Andrea over a little bit with her butt, the bear panda butt. Vroomf. All right. So that is her turn. Alaric, your turn. You still see that two of your Koata companions are stunned. And
Yeah.
things still facing you down.
They're stunned. It's not good to be stunned. I will use my bonus action to do a second wind
Okay.
to get a few hit points back. That gets me back. Yeah, 9's nothing to sneeze at. And then excuse me, just pressing buttons. All right. Crap. The Koato were smaller than me, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're medium creatures, but they're slighter than you. They're not as small as Andrea, but less massive than you.
And there's two of them right in a line, right?
Yeah. So these are the two that are stunned. Bala is fine.
Oh, okay. Since they're stunned and unmoving, can I grab the two of them and haul them through the interface?
Make a strength check to try to haul both of them.
All right. That is a 21.
All right. Yeah. You grab both of them by the back of their robe and yank them out through the little transition. So you're now floating out in the water.
And do I have enough movement to get back inside?
I think that using your action to pull them out, you used up all your momentum.
Good enough.
Yep. All right. That would make it their turn now. So both of the stunned ones are going to get a chance to shake off the stun. Nope. Okay, yeah, Intiblio shakes it off. Labely is still stunned, but Intiblio is once again, aware, able to function. But that's his turn. Bala is going right at this thing.
She's a baller.
Charge! And she's gonna bite him. And that's 21, so that's gonna hit. And does only 5 piercing damage, but she definitely locking her jaw on it. So that's okay.
For my
and
own-
her spear attack.
For my own curiosity, are these the same original mind flayers? I'm just curious.
Meaning like literally the same individuals.
Yeah, like the one that ate
Swibbert.
Flibbert. Yeah.
You get the impression from Bala that whether or not it is literally the same one, she is definitely approaching this situation like that's the case. This seems personal. Yeah, so she's making a spear attack also. That's also going to hit. And so that's another 8 damage. And she has got it grappled in her jaws. Yeah. Okay. Right, that was her turn. That's the Kuatoa. So it is Andri's turn now. And she's, I think, going to take advantage of Bala's grapple to kind of go around and basically, stab him in the back. I mean, it's not like a special move. I just mean she's attacking with advantage, having been invisible. But she's going to go ahead and now seems like the time.
She is an archer. She has distance if she wants it.
That's true. Yeah.
She's not stupid.
You guys, yeah, you're right. You know what? No, my instinct was that she wants to just chop this thing to bits. That's what she wants to do.
And barbarian.
Go, Andrew.
Kind of going around and behind it, yeah.
If she doesn't get a level of barbarian after all this is over.
That's a 16, that'll hit, and then her other attack is only a 12, which does not. So that's 1 hit. That's another 9 damage with that attack. And so it's definitely taken some hits, but it's still looking relatively healthy, these things considered. Nira, you're up.
All right. So I think I can cast Shatter without breaking concentration, correct? It's an
Yes,
evocation.
yeah. And only another concentration spell.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to cast Shatter like diagonal from it, so I don't
Okay.
hit Andri or Bala.
Bala is literally grappled onto it. You're gonna hit both of them.
Fuck Bala.
Hey! You know Bala more than anyone else would. But my gut tells me that Bala would tell you to do it. She wants this thing dead more than she wants to be okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna use. Oh wait, do I have? I think I still have some.
Yeah, you used it once during the fight when you first came through.
Yeah, and I have 2, I think. Yeah.
I'll say you
Okay,
have-
so then
You have
yeah,
at least one.
that'll be 24 points if it.
Okay, is there a saving
Yes.
throw? What's
Yeah,
the
it's
saving throw?
Constitution.
Okay, so Bala makes her Constitution saving throw, and it gets a 21.
Oh crap.
The Mind Flayer gets a 9.
Yes.
So that's 24.
Yes.
For the mind flare. And then Bala takes half for having succeeded. Is that right?
Believe so.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Half
still doing
on a
fine.
success.
Yeah, she's pretty good still. So this shockwave rings out, and you see this bubble barrier kind of ripple just, and this mind flare is definitely kind of reeling now. All right, that was your turn. It is actually the mind flare's turn now.
Also,
yeah.
I wanted to ask about timing. I just remembered.
Okay.
What constitutes 1 minute? Like, how long do we have?
10 rounds of combat.
10 rounds. Okay, that was just my question. I was just
Yeah, so you've got a while to go still in combat time, but like if you were running or something, then that works differently a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's 1 minute of time, but that in initiative that counts as 10 rounds.
Okay.
So it is the Mind Flayer's turn, but having taken several hits and with this thing on it, that you can see it's kind of, you know what? You can see it like initially start to pull it off, and then it just kind of looks around at the rest of you. Then it kind of straightens up, and then you see it go. Sort of it like shimmers weirdly, and then all of a sudden it's just gone, and so Bala kind of drops to the floor, like just literally disappeared from within her mouth, and you guys don't see it.
Okay, so job done. Let's go.
All right, so that was their turn. So that would make it Otterkey's turn.
But kill.
Urge to kill rising.
Where did it go?
Who cares? Let's run. It's gonna sound the alarm.
Ooh, Otterkey will open his third eye and detect any evil or good.
So your divine sense detects not just good and evil, but like specifically fiends and celestials and undead, correct?
Yep.
You do not detect any of those in the area.
But it might not have been any of those.
Yeah,
It
I mean
fleed.
you didn't try it before when you knew there were them, that it was there.
Right.
But yeah.
Seems to have fleed. We should escape.
All right. So are you?
There we book it.
So yeah, I'll head towards the water and
Okay. Kind of everyone sort of making sure everyone's getting out okay, I'm sure.
We have a giant panda with us.
Yeah. Well, she can turn into a water creature as soon as you go through
yeah.
She could also.
Once we
throw
hit the
those
water,
tiger
she's
sharks.
going to do a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can also get those tiger sharks and get a speedboat going.
Exactly.
All right. So, well, let's say just then that you guys sort of spend the next round making sure everybody's good to go, and that you're going to run and you're going to try to stay together.
I'll try to wake up that one that didn't wake up.
Yeah. No, but she wakes up when the other one disappears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everyone is aware now. I think everyone is. There's no one left invisible.
Yep.
So. So what's the plan as you guys prepare to sort of get back in the water?
Go as fast as we can back to the other fish.
Well, but you said Amethyst had like a plan, or?
We have a plan.
Amethyst is going to switch back to human form,
All right.
and she's going to summon 4 tiger sharks
Okay.
to help those that are slower.
All right. So the Kuatoa have swimming speed, so they're pretty fast in the water comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the 4 tiger sharks, Andrew's going to share with Amethyst, but then the rest of you each sort of have one that can kind of ride. Is that the idea?
Exactly. And Amethyst herself is going to turn into a giant octopus that
Oh,
has
well.
a swim speed of 60.
Well, there you go then. So that's that I think is going to mean what's the swim speed of the shark? Do you have it up?
I thought no, I don't have it up.
Is it a tiger shark or a hunter shark? Because there's hunter shark is a creature type that she can do.
He has a spin speed of 40.
Yeah. So basically, swim speed of 40 is what everybody's going to be able to manage. The Kuo-toa have a swim speed of 40 as well. But that's not bad. So what I'm going to say is, just as you guys are sort of I don't have like a map for you swimming in open water. So in fact, I'll actually just take us back here. But as you guys are just leaving this room, you just kind of one last glance back, you see two more mind flayers sort of running towards you. So you're about to just take off, but there's obviously more of them, and they're coming after you, but you guys are just slipping away and getting out of line of sight. Nice receding figure there. And so as you guys are you're now sailing through the water, what direction are you heading? Where are you going on these sharks?
Back to that cave, right?
Directly towards the
Yeah.
cave.
Yeah, straight
Escape.
as an arrow. Is that the idea?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Shortest path.
Okay, I have to check one thing.
Yeah, and I'm not so much riding the tiger shark, so much just holding on.
Okay.
Hoping it knows which way to go.
All right. So you guys are making your way through, and you've made it about like 100 feet away from the tower. You know what? I'm going to just say that someone in the party is sharp enough to spot this. That you see kind of in the distance. It's about maybe 350 feet away, but it's big enough to see from that distance. Swimming kind of around the tower in the open water.
No!
Oh.
Unleash the Kraken!
Is this thing.
Nah!
But the size, if it were stretched out straight, it would be about 80 feet long. That's how big it is.
It would take us 2 rounds to fly from one end to the other.
So basically, you see it in the distance, and it's gonna roll a perception check to see if it sees you.
We still have pass without a trace.
trace?
And can we hide?
You know what? Pass without trace.
That's my concentrations.
I can't see how you would still have it. I think with the combat it would have dropped, and then you were.
Concentration. A contra animal would override it.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it was a ritual, but yeah.
Well, technically, she's casting Pass Without Trace with the staff, but she still has to maintain concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's fair.
It's going to make a
I like
perception
conjure
check,
animals.
and I'll tell you right now, if it gets a 15 or better, then it sees you.
Rama.
Time to go fishing.
Rolling.
Dash, dash, dash.
Got a 23.
Oh,
Ah!
right.
Busted.
link on.
You guys are you notice you, and it starts following you, and it is definitely moving faster than you. But you are fortunately not having to go past it or anything, so you're just making your beeline. And essentially, you realize it's gaining on you at about 20 feet per round. So
how
let's.
far away was it?
So yeah, I'm literally going to just do the math to see how this works out, because I said it was 350 feet away, and so that means that it would reach you in. If I could do math, 15. It would be like 17 rounds. Is that about right?
But
I
the
think that's
other
right.
train is going 40
Right.
miles now.
So it would reach you at about 17 rounds, and then if you are going 40 feet per round,
80. We'll make them dash.
But it's dashing after you.
I negate your dash.
But if both
So-
trains have a jet,
So you would have made 680 feet in that meantime. So here's what I'm going to say, is that it's catching up to you basically just right as you are getting to the the cave, and you guys realize it's cutting it really close, but it's going to get to snap at something before you guys can escape into the tunnel.
can we shoot at it before it gets close?
Shark
Well,
bait.
tell me what you want to do.
I'm gonna light its nose up.
Okay.
An orb.
All right.
Let's see if I can hit the damn thing.
Didn't work very well the last time you tried it underwater.
I know, but there's
So
nobody
does
else
this mean
around.
I no longer have to maintain concentration? It's been a minute, right?
Yes, it's been a minute. So you you feel as the minute expires that you have forced it to return to its own plane of existence. Its own plane of existence.
So let's see if I can hit the damn thing.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, this thing is closing in on you. So you guys are going to have a couple of rounds of it getting closer and closer and closer, and you definitely have realized at this point. I'll say that right now it's within 60 feet, but you guys are not quite going to make it to the tunnel before it could have a chance to attack you guys.
So I think a 23 hits.
A 23 does hit.
We
Lightning.
just send the sharks after it and get away, like a distraction.
Tell me.
True.
You're doing a lightning chromatic orb. Is that what you said?
Yep.
You send this chromatic orb out to it, and it just
Ah, damn.
has,
Finally hit it.
seems to have no effect on it at all.
Yeah, well, worth a try.
In fact, actually, what you see is that the electricity seems to just be absorbed into a little bit of a crackling around it that was already there. Now that you can see it getting closer.
Oh. Well, then I'll try something else.
All right. So who else has a thought? This thing is huge and is coming right for you guys. You're not going to make it to the tunnel in time.
Can I use? Oh god, that's my last. Okay. Thunder wave on it.
I mean,
But everybody's gonna get hit if
yeah.
I do that.
Amethyst
Well, no,
would want to
Thunderwave. You can. Thunderwave. I have previously interpreted the rules as saying it has to be centered on you, but I think it's a 15-foot cube that just has to originate from you. So you can have you yourself be on one of the corners. So what I would say is, it's a little ways off still, but if you wait until just before it gets to you, you can do Thunderwave.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to that.
All right.
So Amethyst would want to turn all the sharks towards it.
Okay. The rest of you are going to move slower once
Right.
you're not riding the sharks.
So that they would, they would jerk and turn and hopefully knock people off.
Right.
So they would
Okay.
get the message.
All right.
So they would move to engage.
go ahead
hopefully-
and roll 4 attacks for them. That's a d20 plus 6 for each of those 4.
Plus 6.
Yep.
We got 18,
18
19, 23. Ooh. What was that one? And 14.
14 misses. So that's 3 hits,
We
though,
got 3
and
hits.
it's 2d8 plus 4 each.
Wow.
Well, that's their one thing they can do.
Right?
So, I have a question.
First one's 15.
How would, if I use control water, and if I part the water, like so that we have a path to run instead of like water, like how does that work? Because I mean,
do
we're so
remember
far
you're gonna
underwater.
have to swim up that tunnel back into the tunnel that had air in it that you originally came from.
Part water around it,
Right,
so
but
it's
I'm
gonna be-
talking about just going up to the tunnel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you could push us all into it.
I
Well,
think
I could-
probably rather than parting, you would like a current. I would think would probably.
Well, I have whirlpool. I could use whirlpool also.
Yep.
If you parted, it can't swim in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
All right. So did you get
first
finished?
one's 15,
15,
second
yeah.
one's 20,
Jeez.
18, and 10. Oh wait, no, there's only 3.
Yeah. That's definitely enough to irritate this thing. 4 sharks that I think ordinarily would not dare to get anywhere near this thing, but suddenly chewing on its face, it is alarmed. However, what the sharks realize, and Amethyst probably sort of feels through her connection to them, is that each of them are going to take 2 lightning damage just from contacting this thing when they bite it.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have 45 total, so that's not a big
40,
hit,
yep.
but still. Okay, so the those of you who were riding the sharks are now having to swim, so you are slower, but the sharks have definitely got this thing's attention. It is temporarily stopped its dashing towards you guys, but that may not last. So anyone else got plans?
Can I use Ice Storm underwater?
I'll allow it. Let me refresh my memory exactly how that spell described, but I will definitely let you cast it, and we'll see what happens.
A hail of rock-hard ice pounds to the ground at a 20-foot radius, a 20-foot-high cylinder centered on a point within range.
Okay.
Each creature in the cylinder must make a dexterity saving throw. A creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Okay. Yeah, what I will say that will work here is that you're essentially like freezing chunks of the ocean water and just sending them shooting down at it. So I'm gonna say that it works. So it's gonna make a dexterity saving throw.
That gun been hiding.
15. Gets 15.
It has to hit. Has to make 14. So
Yeah. Okay. So that's a success. It's gonna be half, but
right. So okay, 2d8. So that's a 5 plus, and that's bludgeoning damage and 4d6 of cold damage. And that's 11. So half of that.
okay. Yeah.
So
It doesn't seem too bothered by that. I mean, it takes the hit, but it's tough.
So that also becomes difficult terrain.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes
part
a
of it's not
difference.
going to make as much sense. Like, it's just kind of pushing through. Like, if this thing were smaller, it might have to weave around the frozen chunks, but this thing is just going to plow right through them. All right. Okay, so this thing is going to deal with the sharks before it goes after you, but you guys are still, I'm going to say 100 feet, and you're moving slower, so you have, like, I'm going to say 4 rounds to get to the cave. So first it's going to attack the sharks that are around it. It's going to bite one and whip the other with its tail. The bite is that's a 21, which I think.
Oh yeah, that is.
I lost my hunter shark
We have a 12.
stats here. Yeah, so
12.
that definitely hits, and it's going to be. Going to be 23 plus, so 25 total, and that's 23 piercing, and 2 lightning, and it needs to make a Constitution saving throw. That shark.
Okay. Rolled an 8. Con is 15. I don't know what the mod is. But
That would be
not good.
yeah. So that's a fail. So that shark is now going to be paralyzed for 1 round. The other shark is getting hit by its giant tail, which is a 15 to hit. That's going to be
Hits.
I was afraid of the mind flayer.
Oh, you know she's always got more.
And that's 28, 28 bludgeoning damage, and 5 lightning damage, and it slams the shark 10 feet away from it, out of its way. All right, so you guys are, 3 rounds now from the cave, if you're still hurrying in that direction.
I applied that to 2 of the already damaged sharks.
Okay. So so are you guys dashing?
Yes.
All right. So then that's where the 3 rounds come from. So if you're not dashing, it'll be longer.
So I
If you're
can
still dashing,
dash twice, right?
yeah, you can dash twice. So I guess you would be able to get to the cave faster than everyone else because you can dash bonus action. So we'll say that you are 2 rounds from the cave, and then could potentially turn around and do one more attack or something.
Swimming like
Okay, so it's attacking the one of the sharks was paralyzed, the other one got swatted away, so now it's actually attacking the other 2.
What about the other 2 sharks attacking?
Yeah, I guess they get to make their attacks too.
And at advantage.
Yeah, so 3 of them in fact, and at advantage because it's injured.
Out in the water.
Yeah.
All right. First, oh wait, they have their action bite
Plus
is
6.
plus 6.
Yeah. And it rolling at advantage.
Got a 25.
That hits.
Ooh.
Another 25. And a natural 20.
Nice. All right, so that's 2d8 plus 4 for the 2 regular hits, and then 48 plus 4 for the crit.
So we got 14.
These are shredding this thing all to pieces. I like it.
Oh.
14 plus 12.
Somebody else get conjure animals and we can have like a pack.
14, 12, and then 26.
And a Christian posse.
Yeah, that's
That's
another
us.
52. You know what? I'm gonna say that with that amount of damage being done by the sharks, this thing it seems much more focused on the sharks now and less about just, like getting them out of the way. So it is attacking those sharks, but it seems more interested in that now than just pushing through them. So that's going to be a 16 with the bite, and then a 14 with the tail slap.
Both hit. Are these the one that were previously damaged or
Well,
undamaged?
you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and rule that the one that it bites, it just swallows.
Right.
And, so that one, we can say that was one of the previously damaged ones.
One of the previous damaged ones would be left behind anyway because it was stunned.
Yeah. So
paralyzed,
that one didn't get to attack, so I'm assuming that there's just the 3 around it right now, but 2 now because one of them has just been eaten, and then the other, the one that had not already been damaged, is going to take now.
I love this ablative shark spell.
It's going to take 24 damage, bludgeoning damage, plus 8 lightning damage, and be pushed another 10 feet away from it. But you guys are continuing to dash towards the cave, and it seems to be now focused on the sharks. So I'm going to just say, while it is dealing with the sharks, you are all able to reach the cave.
Yay!
And so you.
But how do we get back up to the fissure?
Well, it's not.
One burnt bridge at a time.
So you guys, you swim back up the tunnel, up through that pool that was in the tunnel. You're running through the tunnel, And you realize through all of this, you've been hearing just sort of staticky sounds. Like when you heard the voice in your head before, like it was very clear. You hear what sounds like a lot of confusion, like you're maybe just getting feedback from various crosstalk that they're doing with each other. But you get the impression nobody's actually talking to you at this point because they're kind of panicked, trying to figure out what has happened. But you're on your way, and you reemerge through that doorway. Now you're in that room, and basically now the fissure is potentially jumpable from the little ledge, but basically not without a roll.
What if I just take the climb? I like climb.
Yeah. So basically, you can climb and then like drop into it if you want, or you can try to jump directly into it. But basically, no one gets into it without a roll or help.
Is there anywhere I could tie a rope?
I mean, you like. I'm gonna say you could tie a rope that would like hang down into the room, but the fissure's above. Okay. There's nowhere like on the ceiling that you could tie it.
I think I'm gonna what would that be?
Anybody have
Acrobatics?
a nail?
Yeah.
Be a great time for
I
a
would be looking for
harpoon
like
gun.
an athletics or an acrobatics roll is what we're looking for to make the jump into the fissure.
And what about climbing? Is it the same?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, just however you want to spin what's happening. And obviously, if you fail, depending on what it was that you're trying to do, we potentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to climb it because.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to climb.
Archie has his 30-foot Misty Step.
Yeah, so I mean, that would be easy enough. But also, you guys might want to just take into account whoever's going to have a harder time and not just leave them behind.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to get up there and drop a rope down from the other side, if I can.
Alright, so 19 for me.
Okay. So you are able to sort of climb up to where you're above it enough that you can pretty easily and confidently sort of just drop yourself through it.
Cool.
23.
And so Alaric likewise is able to do that. And what I'm just gonna say is those of you left behind still, you see them go through the fissure. Nothing else happens. They don't come back. There's no rope that comes through. It
Doesn't come back.
So we've still
We're in
got
trouble.
we've still got your three Kuatua and Andri and
Tossing up.
Archie and Amethyst. So, are you just heading in, or are you?
So
Then I can
Archie would
choose.
try to climb up to the edge
Okay.
and look back to hold out a hand. Amethyst. Oh, she's still an octopus, but octopus
Well-
can breathe out of water for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, they're slow.
Have a climb speed.
Yeah. I don't
Makes
know, I
them
think
a
it
good climb.
does.
It's got a decent dex.
What's their little a giant octopus?
That doesn't have a
Does
climb
not
speed.
have a climb
Oh!
speed.
She rolled a natural 20.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Octopus Amethyst is able to go through the fissure. All right, so we got the three Kuatua,
Andri.
and Andri, and Archie.
So yeah, Archie would go towards the top. So he rolled, what was it, a 17 to try to climb towards the top and
Andri's
look
pretty
back to see
good
if he could
with
step.
acrobatics, so I'm gonna have her she's just gonna try to jump for it. Yeah, she gets a 17. She's able to just hop up through it herself. You get the feeling that of the Kuatua, two of them seem pretty capable physically, and one is not as much.
Can I go back through?
So I mean, Archie
Well,
did a
so
7.
we'll deal with what you guys are seeing on the other side
Yeah.
in a little bit, but from the
Correct.
perspective
Archie
of
did a
those who have
17
not gone through yet,
athletics.
nothing is coming back.
We did not get.
So Archie did 17 athletics to hang out at the rim and see if anybody's having a problem to assist.
Okay, so like to try to sort of catch anyone who maybe is going to
Mhm.
miss it.
Right. Try to do a grab.
Great. So I'll just have them sort of try to do an alley-ooped jump. Labely makes it,
Yeah, lovely.
and Tiblio gets a 20, natural 20.
Ooh,
And
the
then-
flipper.
Yeah. He actually had the strongest, modifier, but then also rolled a natural 20. He's very happy to not be a zombie anymore. And then Bala, wow, another natural 20. Yeah, so
Ooh.
everyone is through but you, Archie. You're all
Yeah.
you're all clear, kid. Let's
If
blow
they're all
this thing
good,
and go
I'll
home.
swoop in.
All right,
Gonna have
go
a
ahead
very
and make your
pissed off
roll.
spirit on the other side.
It's a 17.
All right. Yep. You jumped through. You made it through the fissure, and you emerge back into this underwater chasm where the fissure had been, back on your home material plane, and you see your friends kind of standing there, looking a little bit like nervous, like they're afraid to make a move, and you sort of look up and you realize that the this sort of shape that you've seen the spirit of Lake Elamon manifest itself in is now sort of floating over you, and it is like it's big enough that your brain is having trouble sort of comprehending it. It's like the size of a cloud in the sky. It's bigger than any living thing that you have ever seen.
It's bigger than the
You
temple,
want to
actually.
close it?
What have you done? And that's where we'll leave.
Ah.
All right, good job, you guys. You did it. Mission accomplished. With extra bonus rescued friend, and wow, there was some touch and go moments in there. That's great. Good job, you guys. All right, we did it. The little extra elbow grease here on tonight's episode, but yeah, so good job. You have now closed the fissure and eliminated the possibility of reinforcements from the mind flayers, and so maybe now the Kuatoa would have a chance of defeating them if they can rally back home. So. But it also would seem that your little plan has been detected.
We were supposed to cover
figure.
our brain escape.
Can't say I didn't see that one coming, but oops, sorry. Did you
We
need
do
that?
that.
All right, so I think we'll go ahead and stop it for here. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody who is in the chat room. We still got Mother Dragon in there, but we had several people around earlier, and so thank you for listening and watching. And we'll be back soon for more adventure on
So many levels.